All right, now let's talk about hardware. Hardware is something that's used on the shutter to make it do something. One of the things that hardware is good about is, it's going to have a hinge, just like on a door. It's something that you'll see visibly. It has a pin in it so it can be taken out, just like a door. And so the shutter panel is placed between the stile and the frame. All right, and so it's what allows the shutter to open. Most of the time, if it's a painted shutter, you're going to use a painted hinge. Yes, brass colors are available. It's something we used to do a lot, but now most people don't want to see the hinge. However, you may have a home, you want a white shutter, and you want a bronze hinge because your hardware trim in the home is bronze. No problem, we have options, you have choices. Another thing to be aware of is what's known as an invisible hinge. Not all companies offer the invisible hinge. What's an invisible hinge? It's a hinge you can't see. How about that? Real novel, huh? Well, anyway, here's a cross section of a shutter panel. This is the stile, this is the rail, this is the frame that goes around the window. In this particular application, the hinge is in between here, and as you open up the shutter, you will see the invisible hinge. It's only visible when you open the panel. In fact, when we're installing these things, and you walk up to the window and you can't see the hinge, it's like which side of the window is going to open, you don't really know because you can't see the hinge. But it is a nice, clean approach, and some people really like having this option built into their shutter. Another aspect of hardware has to do with something known as panel pulls and locks. Now, what are these all about? Well, sometimes if you have a multiple panel opening, you need some way to start the shutter to move so you can open it. And sometimes a great option is the panel pull. It's just a little ring that's recessed into the stile of the shutter, and so it's a nice little additive to how to operate your shutter. Another option is what's known as a panel lock. This can help secure the shutter into some position, in the closed position where you don't want children opening it, or even pets. I've got stories of multiple folks with cats that have learned how to open louvers on their shutters and even open the panel. Well, this can keep that from happening. Another aspect of this particular types of hardware is used in the motorization of shutters. That's something that Norman is the only company at the present time that makes a motorized shutter. I mean, it's really cool. You got a remote, you just pick a pre-selected position, hit the button, and that louvers in the panel begin to move and take up the exact position that you have selected. And they're preset so that you can pick that position for all the windows and have all of them go exactly to the same position in the sequence. Really neat system. Not extremely expensive, and especially for those high windows in a family room, it gives you the adequate control of that operation. With the motorized shutter, though, it's become mandatory to have either a panel lock or this flush pull so that you can have a way to open the panel without being able to open the louvers. You notice that in all your shutters, especially without a stick on the front, and all motorized shutters are made without a stick. They no longer offer a stick option when you want motorization. It all has to be with the invisible tilt concept. And when you do that and the louver is in the closed position, there's no way that you can open that louver easily and safely without damaging the shutter if you're not opening it first with the remote. And if you don't have the remote right available or whatever, it's just been found that it's just safer, more secure to install the panel lock or the ring pull so that that panel can easily be opened for cleaning, this sort of thing, without damaging the motorization function. So these are just some of the highlights of what's available in the design of your shutter, things that you want to take into consideration and understand your options so you end up without getting buyer's remorse because you find your neighbor has a feature that your dealer didn't tell you about, and now you're kind of upset and you're having to live with that regret. We don't want that. We want you to look at your shutters, and every time you do, we want you to get a warm fuzzy instead of this sinking feeling because you don't have what you really wanted. So if you have any questions, give us a call, PriceRightBlinds.com. Contact us, schedule that free in-home consultation, and we'll come answer all your questions. Thank you very much.